Today is a sad day at Omega. It really doesn't have anything to do with the shop other than this car. It's very, very upsetting. Let me tell you guys about it. So this is a 2006 Dodge Magnum, and you guys are going to find out at first glance. You take a quick look around, it doesn't look too bad. The customer just bought this car, and it's one of the biggest sham scam jobs I've ever seen. It's really that bad, guys. You guys are going to see here in a minute when we put it on. Actually, we're going to use the 4-post lift today because the others are tied up at the moment. So that'll be a new thing for you guys to see our bin pack 4-post lift in action. We'll go ahead and open the hood on this. We'll look around, we'll look in the interior. But when you really start diving deep and seeing what's going on with this car, it's sickening. Let's go ahead and get started. So the customer knows that this vehicle has been in a wreck, and he bought it at a discount based on that. And he thought, okay, I understand it's been in a wreck. I'll deal with a few little items that are pretty bad, but you can see it's been repainted, this whole front fascia or bumper cover. The headlights are fully brand new, and that one's already fogged up. You can see some of the gaps. It wasn't put together very well at all. From a distance, like I said, and you walk around real quick, you think, oh wow, this thing's nice. But the trickery has just started. Let's go ahead and move down here. You can see that the paint is not glossy here. It's kind of a satin finish on the fender. It was kind of maybe a rushed paint job, or the clear coat didn't get done right. The wheels and tires, really, I mean, there's not much going on with those, but you can see bad paint lines here. Let me show you the door. And this is something the customer actually wanted looked at, but what we found out is the actual body is so tweaked and so messed up, there's no adjustments we can do. So you open the door, and the hinge is really hard to open. It won't close. You can just sit here and bounce it all day long. So I'll shine a light down on the hinges. You can see they've done some grinding and some cutting onto the hinges and then repainted it. I'm just really not sure exactly what happened here from the accident, but it's not anything that really we can fix here. So let me see if I can just normally close the door. Okay, I'm going to push harder. There we go. That's really just the beginning, guys. Let's go ahead and move on down here. This doesn't look so bad back here. As we come around to the back, I don't think there was really much collision going on back here. I don't know that, but I don't think so. It's not too bad back here. One thing I can tell is there's swirls from polishing on these. I don't think that these are aftermarket. In fact, it has the factory stampings on it, so those have not been replaced. It has a Fusion tire here, and up front is a Salem tire. So these doors over here open and close just fine. Oh, maybe. This one's a little sticky too. Let's try this one. Yeah, that one's not too bad. You can look at the roof, or the roof. It's not very glossy, is it, Mrs. Wizard?
Not exactly.
I don't know if that's enamel single-stage paint, or I don't know what happened there. But then right here on this fender, it's very glossy. It looks very good, actually. The repaint was great. It's kind of strange. Here's some more of our gaps sticking out. Let's go ahead and open the hood. Oh, look. Usually we have problems with the struts not holding up the hood. There are no struts. If I were to let this go, straight down it goes. What happened to the struts? Well, no problem. I'll sit here and hold it open.
Yeah, please do. I don't need to have a headache with you dropping that on us as we're filming.
At first glance, again, you don't see much here. You see, yeah, it's got a Hemi. That's what it's supposed to have in it. But when we're driving this car, there is something rattling, it's almost like it temporarily locks up in the engine and then it loosens back up. Something is really, really wrong internally with this engine. And when we get it on the lift, I'm going to show you guys some things that I've learned over the years to tell more to the story. These engines are usually not too bad. I like these Hemis. I just don't like this one. This one's a pile of trash. And I feel really bad for the customer for that. Let's go ahead and look at the interior.
Well, 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 ladies and gents, this does have 256,000 miles on it, almost 257. So it does have a lot of miles on here, but that's actually not the problem. The wreck was what it was, but if we look, it does have some dash issues, and so they have a dash mat over the top, which does make it look a little better. But as we move down, what's that? Obviously, there's something going on here with the radio, being that it doesn't fit properly, and they didn't even make an effort to try and add some sort of a bevel to block the view on the inside. But I guess we can kind of look back there. It's kind of hard to see in camera, but I can look back there and see there is no spaghetti of wires like the DVD China radio that is in the Lamborghini. So I guess I can say that's a little bit better. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Does have leather interior. The leather seat I'm sitting in does have a little bit of wear, but not much. You know, if you're just looking at this car from the beginning, hey, leather seats, no major tears, looks like it's in good shape. But at first glance, it really doesn't look too bad, especially with this high of miles on the car. But I think I might need the wizard to help pry the door open to get me out of here, because I want to see what it looks like underneath.
Crazy D in the office actually had to make the call today and give this guy the bad news. You really need to dump your car. You need to sell it, because the cost to repair everything to make this car right will be the same cost. You're just going to go buy one that's nice. This car is not worth the investment, not even $100. We're going to raise this up, and I'll show you some things that Magic Mike found, and we looked at this and looked it over, and we were just like, this is nuts. So I'll get it up in the air. So we'll actually start from the back this time. There's things that go all the way along here. Try not to hit your head, Mrs. Wizard.
I'll be watching.
First thing is this exhaust hangs way lower than this one. I don't know if it's been bent or tweaked, or the whole body's tweaked, or what happened here. That one's lower. Right here on this flex disc, if you come around to here, you can see that it's just been, just blasted. The threads are actually showing. I think in the accident, it just completely bam, just ripped this thing to shreds. It's literally about to come apart. That wasn't even addressed. It was just like, here, buy the car. We put a pry bar in there, and it's very springy, almost like a rubber band. It's about to come apart. We have a tiny bit of a fuel leak going on here, and it may be just, I don't know if there's a tiny pinhole or something going on in the tank. That's probably also from the accident. You can't really see it, but the carrier bearing to the drive shaft is all jacked up. When you go down the road, you can hear it going crunch, 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 crunch. And we move up to here. This flex disc also has cracks all in it. It's not near as bad as the old one, but this whole thing is just, when you put a pry bar on it, it just bounces up and down like this mount is shot. It's probably torn inside. It's got a rear main seal, which is not surprising. We did put some new oxygen sensors on here because it had some codes for that, and it didn't fix the jerking noise. We thought it was just running really rough, but when we really started diving deep, I started noticing things. Right here you can see a paint mark that's yellow, where the transmission connector goes in. And you can't see it, but if you get a mirror on top, it lists the name of a salvage yard where this transmission came from. I'm not going to show it because, again, I don't need lawsuits. But this came from a salvage yard. Then we look at the engine, and then you can see a bolt right here. So there you can see that bolt. They got it in sideways, cross-threaded it, and they just said, F it. Just leave it that way. I'm not even going to attempt to fix it. F it all the way. I'm done. And just left it. There's wiring harnesses right here resting right on the exhaust that used to be properly attached. That's a main battery cable. And also on the engine block, it lists the name of a salvage yard. We are not going to film that because we don't want, again, no trouble with that salvage yard. There are two different salvage yards, the engine and transmission. You can see all this missing bolts and screws. It's kind of just pieced together with whatever they found, whatever bolts they had in a box or whatever. It's really, really bad. There's something going on with a leak here. It's leaking all over the subframe. The motor mounts are shot as well. So whoever put the engine in just put the old torn mounts on it. Whenever you steer, there's a weird noise, and Mrs. Wizard even noticed that the wheels they look really weird when you turn. Something's completely off kilter with the geometry of the body. Let's go ahead and lower this thing down. So this situation is really sad. When Magic Mike showed me these things and we started looking a little deeper, you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together and you start to realize that this thing was wrecked all to hell. They probably broke the engine and did something with the transmission. They threw some salvage yards ones in, straightened it whatever as best they could, got some body panels on it, did a piss poor paint job on it, and dumped it on this customer. I can easily see that. Markings on the engine, markings on the transmission indicating they came from a salvage yard. It's really, really sad. I also knew when Magic Mike showed me these things, I said, Magic Mike, we're done. We cannot guarantee any of our work on this car at all because everything is cop job. I mean, everything is cop job on it. It's been thrown together by a 12th grader or 10th grader or something. It's so bad. I said, we can't offer a warranty. I can't guarantee that we fix one thing and something else doesn't break. This will be a non-stop vicious circle that never ends. It's like a downward spiral. And I said, we're done. We gave the customer just the price of the auction sensors, no labor. We didn't charge him any labor at all because we feel so bad for the customer. We did get his permission to film this and tell the story of what happened. We're going to return this car back to the customer, and we told him maybe work with the seller to get a refund. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. Or unload it, dump it as a project car someone else could fix on their own time. Can this be fixed? Yes, but this is not a Lamborghini or a Ferrari that's worth $50, $100, $200, $300, $400,000. This thing in perfect shape might be worth 10, 15, in that range. When we're going down the road, something in the timing system in the engine, it could be the lifters, it could be the timing chain, I don't know what it is, but you can hear it literally lock up and the whole car lurches and then it frees itself up. We did it on the lift and let it run and we could hear it like rattling in the engine and the wheels would almost lock up. The transmission is throwing all kinds of codes. That's when I decided we're not going to demonstrate this on video. We're not going to further cause any more damage. We're just going to gingerly park it outside and the customer can have it back. But like I said, it can be fixed. But by the time we pull the heads off, do cams and lifters, because yes, the heads have to come off of a 5.7 Hemi to pull the cam out and do all that work. That's $4,000. The transmission, whatever's wrong with it, needs to be rebuilt. That's $2,000 or $3,000. Then you got driveline, and you got body work to get everything straightened out, because you guys saw the doors won't even close right. You could have 10 or 15 grand into this car to make it right again, and it has 257,000 miles on it. That's a fool's errand. That's stupid. That's one of the dumbest investments you can make on one of these cars like this. And even if you get it all right and you decide to dump that money into it, the vehicle history will show this accident and will cut whatever value it has in half, no matter how much you have into it, no matter how much you've done to it. This car will never be worth fixing. unfortunately. So if you're out there looking for a cheap deal, be very careful, just like this car shows. When Crazy D called the customer, he was kind of excited that we might have fixed his car, and when Crazy D revealed this news that we found on his car, it was like Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. It's like, okay. I felt so bad. This guy has been shafted. I mean, a serious shafting. I feel so bad for the guy. I felt so bad, I was like, hey, can you pay for just the parts? No labor. You need to get rid of this car, dude. You need to dump it hard. So he's going to do that. He's going to figure out what he's going to do with the car. But be careful out there. There's a lot of people right now, with the way things are going, they're unloading absolute junk onto unsuspecting people. Make sure to get a pre-purchase inspection. If you know a mechanic, say, hey, can you look this car over, pay you $50 or whatever. Just do a quick look over, at least get an idea what's going on here. I'm not sure what the customer paid for this car, but whatever it was, I can tell you it was too much. The engine's not even worth a salvage price because it's unusable. It needs to be rebuilt. It's a core. It's core price. The transmission is a core price. It's really bad. So the moral of this story, this video exists to tell you guys these cars are out there. And as you can see, you're looking at it right now, it doesn't look like so much is wrong, but this thing's a basket case. This is bankruptcy on 4 wheels. Be very, very careful out there, guys. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to work on these cars, or all the cars that are in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, because we got Ferrari videos, we got yacht videos. My yacht's almost done. I can't wait to get back in the water. Can't you, Mrs. Wizard?
I'm counting the minutes.
Yes, we are looking forward to more yachting. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Thanks for watching.